Okay, but I'm very happy to be here today. I understand this is the 12th conference for AIBK. For me, it's the 4th since I joined the industry. And since 2014, Chairman, I have been faithful to come to this event. Last year we were here, we were the title sponsor, and we promised to come back, and we are here. I'm not presenting as a sponsor, I'm actually presenting as an expert in mergers and acquisition. Somebody asked me when they looked at the title, and I said I'm coming on behalf of Mugo Kebati. I said, we didn't know you're actually an expert in mergers and acquisition. So for the next 15 minutes, please do indulge me, because I'm an expert in mergers and acquisition. Do we agree on that? Excellent. All right. So what is mergers and acquisition? I'll try and avoid a lot of textbook stuff, but it's not fair to kick off without really addressing ourselves to what it is that we are talking about. And basically, when you talk about mergers and acquisition, we are talking about the change of ownership of companies, either by way of transferring or combining various business units or those companies. And I think if we were to ask for the examples that we can give, I am sure would have as many examples probably as we have the number of the people in this room. There are obviously certain benefits. I'll try to lash through it so that I can give, I think when the chairman gave the brief to Mugo, I happened to be there. The brief was to talk about Sanlam and the success we have seen in our mergers that we've done and the various acquisitions that we have had in the recent past. And I'll try and address myself to that. But I just want to give just a highlight of what are some of the benefits. And I think, as we can see, there's shareholders' value, there's market share. If you want to increase your market share, one of the fastest way to do that is through mergers and acquisition. Of course, if you want to build some cost efficiency, you can go through the same process, and we can talk about increase in value generation. There are certain drivers of mergers and acquisition, and these just a few of them. These are just a few of them. But globalization, which is not listed here, is one of the other aspects that will drive mergers and acquisition. If you think about technological advance, and I want to ask one question. The broker today and the broker we had 20, 30 years ago, is there a major difference? Is there a major difference? What would be the difference? I'll indulge Vice Chair because he's the one next to me here. What would be the difference between the broker we have today and the broker 20 years ago?
I think one of the ones I see clearly is that those who are there now, they have no hair.
What happened to them?
I think so I'm talking as one of them. So actually, the ones who are there 30 years ago, they are not there today.
So what happened then?
I don't know.
Today we have, Chairman, I don't know the number of your membership. I would imagine it's just about 200. About 200. And the size of our market, would you need 200 members? Maybe more or less? Much more? Much more. So we need to start more brokerage firms. Do we need to consolidate those that are already existing? So why would you want to do a merger? Why would you want to, because as we discuss this, we might want to ask ourselves, is there a case for brokers to come together? Why would you want to do that? So niche market, you want to specialize? What else? You want to grow your market share instead of fighting for a smaller pie and continue to maintain the same market share? What else? Expertise is key. I think that's the other thing that we are talking about. Expertise. And we talked about the value generation. For you to generate more value and extract more value, then you need to combine the expertise. And when I talk about the case for Sanlam, you'll then be able to find that for the last 100, just about 100, because it will be 100 next year, years that we have existed in the continent, one of the areas that we've done pretty well is to build expertise for certain specialists. And I think many people in this room would be able to attest to that, those who are familiar with Sanlam globally. Okay, I make progress. So what would be the picture of success for mergers and acquisition? One, like we said, is you have more strategic institution. If you look at some of the mergers that has happened in our market, some of them have been extremely successful. The others that have been a disaster. And I don't want to ask for examples because we interact with most of the players in the industry, and we know very well some that have been very successful, and we know others that have become almost near disaster, isn't it? So a merger can go very well, a merger can go south. And I think in our space, that's in our industry, we have had very successful mergers that have seen institutions that have become more strategic than before, and institutions that have been, have gained more market share than before. And I think that's the reason why we would expect people to be talking about coming together for organization or acquisition for other companies. Operational efficiency is key. If you think about technology, you might have one organization that has extremely good technology platform, and if you acquire another company and you are able to successfully integrate the two organizations, then the because I think that's the only way we can continue to take care of the market and create value. And I want to thank you all for listening to me. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you, Evans. Actually, Evans is catching a flight in the next couple of minutes. So quickly, I want to call our next speaker so that I can ask him one or two questions on managers. It's a very important subject. I want to call Peter Mukuria. Peter Mukuria is one of our platinum sponsors from ICA Lion, and he is Assistant GM Business Development and Commercial. Welcome to the podium, Peter, so that you can quickly give us what you have. Please, let's mind about time. At least we can be able to be left with you thereafter. Thank you. Is that presentation mounted? I think so. Yes.
Habari ya Utaranji. I'm representing ICA Lion, and I was not supposed to be the one doing this presentation. It was supposed to be done by the architect of one of the most successful recent mergers, that is the ICA Lion, ICA Insurance Company of East Africa, and Lion of Kenya. I will not go through the theories behind it, because I was told to come and present and give you how it went, what the challenges went through from a very practical sense. Very practical, what happened, the steps that were taken, the advantages that were achieved, and how the challenges were overcome. Before I do that, I wish just to tell you that the people we are with here, I'm with Gladys Musebi. Where is Gladys? Gladys is there. She represents the ICA Life. And there is Keitane. Where is Keitane? There you are, also from the Life Company. And from General, we have Joseph Waganya there. For the people from Mombasa, I know you know Joseph very well. Now, the merger for ICA Lion happened in 2012. I know as brokers, you already know that. And the question is, it was one of the most seamless mergers that I think you will agree with me that has been seen in this market, whether from the insurance part of from the other companies, one of the most seamless mergers. Why? Let's see. Let me just take you a bit of a background of the two companies, because it was that background that formed the basis of the success for the merger. These two companies, really, what you may not know, they actually have a kind of a culture for change, mergers and acquisitions. Please go to the next slide, because you say, oh, I have the, sorry, technology. Where do we hear this? Oh, that. There you are. sorry for that. If you look at, I know as brokers, you have dealt with the ICA Lion, you have dealt with the not ICA Lion, Lion of Kenya, you have dealt with the ICA for many years. But I know a lot of you don't know that Lion itself was a merger entity. If you just look at the background, how it came about, Lion came into this country when the first office was opened in 1895 as a Lloyd's agency. Thereafter, that agency was taken over by, was taken over by The Guardian as the branch for The Guardian of the UK. And thereafter, The Guardian itself merged with the Royal Exchange to form GRE. And then many years after that, after maybe 20, I don't even know the numbers, they are not very important. Guardian Royal Exchange now was operating in this country not on their own, but as a group of companies. And you can see them. They were operating in this country with the Guardian Royal Exchange, Atlas, Caledonia, Employers Liability, Commercial Union. They were operating a joint operation, not a manja. You see, an operation where they are operating with the same office, you go there and you say, I want to be insured by Caledonia. The only difference will be the file will be a yellow, the one for Commercial Union will be an orange. But it was one office. Now, in 1978, all these companies incorporated themselves to form what now you came to know as Lion of Kenya. So Lion of Kenya itself, as you know it, was actually a merged entity. When you look at ICA itself, it started in 1964. And again, it was learning. It started from also 3 foreign companies. This is Ego, Welfare, and New Zealand. And in 1976, the local shareholders, who are now our holding company, the First Chartered Securities Group, took over the foreign shareholding to form then that company you knew, ICA, which went on to also form other companies like ICA Asset Management, ICA Trustees, what we call ICTL. And you can see clearly the culture of change was of mergers and acquisitions have been within the group up to 2012, when these 2 companies now decided to merge to form now what is ICA Lion. Now, those are I know you know very well those logos, you have been used to them, and it became very good when we decided that we are better together in 2012. Those are the new the new entities that were formed after the merger, giving services across the region. Now, what are the potential strengths and weaknesses that we went through from a practical point of view? What we went through, the first one, and very critical one, was the people. You are bringing in from our own local perspectives. You are bringing 2 bombers, different mothers, same father, and you want to make them one bomber, one family. And the challenge that really we faced were, one, resistance to change. People don't like to change. And in this instance, there was, of course, the threat of a lot of things. They knew the change was coming with a lot of threats. So, resistance to change. Then, of course, because of people were fearing the change, there was a lot of turnover of the competent and the very qualified staff. The next one, communication. These are organizations that have different cultures. They have different communication areas or ways. Communication, serious challenge. How did we overcome it? The company pitched itself that after the merger, it was going to be a better employer, benefits were going to be good, salaries were going to be better. And so it became, because by 2013 and 2017, we were actually voted the best employer in the country. You see those prices. The next challenge, it was on leadership. These two companies had different styles of leadership. You had some CEO, the CEOs then were CEOs who had been there for more than 20 years in each of those companies with different styles of management. These different styles of management were going to be brought under one person, a new person. The next major challenge, culture. As we said, these were two different sets of people used to doing things in a different way and for their different organizations. Even as the company merged, you still had people were saying XLOK, ICA. How was this addressed? Behind the scenes, the process took about 3 years with consultants working together, taking through people through the integration process. And I'm being told that my stories are becoming too many. I need to move faster. Now, and I'll do exactly that. the next one, the next one, of course, one that we can't miss there is the retrenchment challenge. When you merge two entities, what you do is you find yourself with overcapacity, isn't it? You have two underwriting managers, you have two claims managers. What do? It's obvious some must go, isn't it? So that was a very serious challenge. What did we do about it? This was put under the integration program so that the pains and the anguish of retrenchment were addressed, such that, to be frank, some of us were saying, if this package was optional, I would take it. That's how good it became. Next, just to mention the next bigger one was the process and the procedures. How are we going to harmonize them? What we did is, or what was done then, is that we formed some functional committees that were dealing with the procedures, starting from the business acquisition and retention to the policy documents, how you are going to do new endorsements. You find that you don't realize how different these are until you see it in practical. You see, some people will start an endorsement in a certain way. It needed to be streamlined. Simple. ICA and Lion were so strong brands in the region, and you could not just do away with one. One of the resources of the Lion of Kenya research said they had a cultic. You know what is a cult? Cultic following. They are clients that you could not simply move from there. And that is where you see, ultimately, the company was called ICEA Lion. And the ICEA Lion is in capital, showing equity, because both of them, they are two names that could not be discarded. Sawa, Chairman. Kidogo tu. Let me show them the end goals. It's good to see this, because all this that was being done. What was the purpose of doing this? The purpose of doing this is not a merger by itself. It's not a net by itself, isn't it? The idea is you need to get all those things. I know you'll be able to read them, but quickly. You see, you need a unified culture, better products, and obviously cost reductions. And what was achieved by the time we were doing the merger, by the time the first year was over, very minimal business was lost. The entire business that was ICA and what was Lion was left intact. It is still intact. Of course, there is a natural attrition. Let me dash over the others. You'll be able to lead them. The next one is the benefits to the customer. What has been the benefits to the customer today? Of course, we have now a better output on the products and services, and our digital platform is a much better platform than what used to be for the two companies. One of the companies used to use a very old operating system based on something called AS400. Looking at the youthful faces here, I don't know, many of you may not even know what is AS400. It was an IBM series that was maybe discarded in other markets, maybe 30 years ago, I don't know. But that was what was being used. It was very effective. Now, yeah. He's already studying. Sawa. Now, then, okay. And I think because I'm being rushed and we said there should be more, we should have had more time. They are very good things to learn from this. I wish I had more time to give you more details, and you can see what has been the effect of that. These are not yeah. And Anthony is here. You can see what has been achieved, and because you can't agree with the chairman, thank you.
Let's give Mukuria. This is one of those subjects that made me come to this conference. I know we have not done justice to this topic. It's one of those topics that I would have wanted actually to have a very serious discourse. Because I was just doing my analysis and I was seeing the last couple of years we have more than 10, 12 mergers in the insurance industry alone, not to mention the other factors. And as I do this, please, I want to call the next speaker. I think MC will help us that. Unfortunately, my panel, I'm told we cannot be able to have any questions. I know they have a flight to catch at 4. In fact, the next speaker is catching a flight at 4, Evans as well. So I'm told they only have 5 minutes. I just want to thank you so very much. I know we have not even scratched the ground on this topic, but I hope that you will still be able to available to us to ask questions, because I know we will need to ask those questions. It's very, very important subject.
All right.
Let me thank you once again and say have a safe flight for those who are traveling. Mukulia, we are with you, so we'll continue engaging you. Asante Nisara. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vice Chairman there. Now give it up for our next presenter. Talking about brand positioning and visibility is the Resolution Insurance Group CEO, Mr. Peter Ndwati.
Good afternoon. I was supposed to speak an hour ago, and I have a flight at 4:45, so I hope my words won't run against each other as I try to make that flight, because I'm going to Tanzania for a board meeting. I'm an insurer by training. I've been in this industry for the last 28 years. It may not show, but I have been there in the industry for 28 years. But I'm also a student of marketing. And I say a student because there's no accomplished marketer, because the industry changes so fast. I'm going to tell you a story about a business that I found and how I positioned it to now to be the 8th largest general insurance company in this country. And without further ado, I won't introduce the brand, and I won't tell very many stories. But if you consider yourself a marketer, whenever you do a marketing plan, the first thing you need to focus is, how do you connect with your consumer? And doing an ad is not necessarily the way to do it. What a brand tries to do is to ascribe positive value, and that was what we started with. Now, we entered this industry 15 years ago as Resolution Health. Such a powerful brand, like all the people who are talking to me now are still calling me Resolution Health, and we haven't been Resolution Health for 4 years. It is, as a marketer, one of my biggest challenges, and I'll talk to you guys about it. The most important thing we need to remember is that marketing an insurance company is that the people who buy our products are doing so out of fear and uncertainty. I normally tell people, and excuse my language, insurance is the most unsexy business I've ever been in. Because we grew up when it was considered as a boring, dry business. Remember the days we used to wear black suits? And we have tried to take it as marketers to our consumers as our consumers change. So when we entered the market, we decided to do a study. I remember I and my team in early 2003 trying to do a study to try and understand how do we position ourselves. Remember, we came in to an industry, first of all, where companies were collapsing left, right, and center. And in fact, until 2009, every person I met was telling me, well, here you guys are collapsing. In fact, sometimes, even the last 1 year, I was told we are collapsing. The medical insurance industry had such a dirty name, because I launched the business in November, and in March, Mediplus collapsed. it was a very difficult time. So we did a study, and we found that insurance, and still is, insurance is still commoditized. If you take one motor insurance product to another, and you look at the policy document, it looks almost the same. Very little product differentiation. And we as an industry and distributors like brokers, a lot of us are not doing justice to the industry by showing that particular differentiation. So we decided we're going to position this business as a lifestyle brand. And a lifestyle brand is it's the issue of taking an individual and using their personal identity and their lifestyle and trying to fit the brand within that particular lifestyle. We decided to focus on evoking emotional connections between the client and their desire to affiliate him or herself. I remember the first time I walked to see the divisional director of medical insurance at Aon. And he told me, you and AAR, your DNA not for brokers. We are not likely to support you. Because we decided to have a direct connection with our customer. And if our communication was, we were communicating directly to the consumer. It took a strategy where we decided to develop our own distribution and took a list of clients and started selling to them directly to force brokers to sell for us, and it has worked. Right now, 60% of our business comes from brokers. So we also realized that in order for our brand to be successful and to enhance market share, we need to provide more than just an insurance product. It was a given that our foundation was transfer of risk and paying claims. But we decided we need to introduce a way we can connect with the consumer. So consumers are willing to buy and purchase our products because we established ourselves as value and fitting with their lifestyle. So this is the three things we did. We used the tactics of brand personality, brand effect, and brand attachment. The first thing we did, we took all the companies in our space who were competing with us and tried to personify them. I won't name some of the companies, but when we personified some of our businesses, they were a 58-year-old Kikuyu man driving a pickup in Nyeri. And we decided that's not how we're going to personify ourselves if we want to attract that particular market. And I'll tell you how we decided to personify our business. Start from how we behaved, the Pantones, the colors, and our communication. The second thing was brand effect and then brand attachment. So the brand personality we decided to take was excitement. Instead of fighting the fact that we were young, we decided to take that as our identity. Synonymous with carefree, spirited, and youthful attitude. We decided to personify ourselves as female. And even up to today, if you look at our business, it's very, very female in all types of behavior. The look and feel, communication, we decided we're going to personify ourselves as a young lady, an aspirer. We decided we're going to describe ourselves as a young lady living in Kileleshwa in a rented apartment, driving a RAV4 and having a mobile phone. Reading the magazine, at that time it was Drum, True Love, there was another one which, so we decided if we are that young lady, what does that young lady do? She goes to the salon on Saturday, we are going to be there in the salon talking to her. She goes for a concert, we are going to be there. She goes for a music event, we are going to be there. She goes to the movies, that's where we position ourselves, and it worked. Our entire communication had to make and look sound like that young lady we were targeting. So we decided we can't talk about heritage when you're 1 year old. You can't say we've been here for like Jubilee 70 how many years and we are competing with them. We decided we're young, we'll accept the fact that we are young and we'll behave that way. I had to change how I dress completely because I came from an older business. My behavior had to fit this particular new brand. And even now you can still see the way I look. And I'm not young. The second thing was brand effect. We decided we need to position ourselves in a feeling of sincerity. To be kind, thoughtful, and an orientation to the family values. So we were the first insurance company to do an activation in a church. I went to Loresho Community Church where I used to live and I used to go to church. And I talked to the pastor and I told him we want to do an activation after the church. Words like morality were thrown at me. How can you do business in a church? Today all of you guys are activating in churches. Because we decided if you want to get the lady, and the lady was the target, the person who can buy the insurance product, you have to be where they are. So school events, we started doing activation in nursery schools. So on Saturday when people are going to do school events, we decided going to activate in that particular space. Then we decided to start doing things called wellness forums. So we'll take HR managers, our clients and other people's clients, bring them to a room, bring someone to teach them about financial health, mental health, and physical health. And we used that as a way to convert that. So the brand effect of sincerity came across. And the last thing that we did that was tactical was our brand attachment. We decided we are going to appear sophisticated. We made the brand seem elegant, prestigious, and even sometimes pretentious. Because that's the only way, you know the phrase, fake it until you make it? We had to do it. Our share capital at that time was 40 million shillings. We had companies at that time, the paid-up share capital was 1.2 billion. There's no way we could have gone there and pretended. So we pretended as young, youthful, we can take a chance, we can design a product the way you want it, and it worked. So we decided to position the brand where the client will be happiest. You know when you're happy, there are endorphins flowing through your system? So we decided we will never ever be in a position where the health is being mentioned. So if someone came to me and told me breast cancer work, we tell them we don't do such things. Nation TV, I remember, they used to show a TV show called ER. You need to sponsor this because it's called Resolution Health. We said, no, we don't do health things. We decided we are going to do sports, music, events where you are happy. That way you'll associate our brand not with illness, but with happiness, and it worked. So you'll find this is a property we own. It's called Tis the Season, where we bring in Kenyan artists, Kenyan musicians who are doing very well with no scandals. And then we tell them to sing Christmas carols. Then we invite our clients, our brokers, our providers, and every year we've done this event. It has grown very, very fast. You're blocking there. In terms of product design, we decided to go where other people were avoiding. In 2003, and all of you guys were in the industry, did you know gynecological conditions were excluded from cover? And you couldn't buy an individual maternity cover. Ladies were excluded from the percent of insurance. We decided, because we are female and we are targeting female, we'll design products that will cover things that, pap smears were included and things like that, and organ transplants. And we were the first insurance company in this region, in East Africa, to write a cover for HIV/AIDS. We launched this product with this because we wanted to support the brand that we were representing. Again, it worked. I want to talk about something called earned media and owned media. If you look at the position we are today, even if I tried to spend as much money in advertising as I can, the top 3 companies will outspend me. So we realized instead of earning media, now instead of owning media like advertising, we are going to control by earning media. And the way to earn media is how you structure your PR. So because we don't have big budgets, we decided we are going to be the loudest in our subsector. So we decided to utilize PR and sponsorship as tactics to earn media. And this has worked, and we're still using it today. Today, we host a lunch in the first part of the year and a breakfast in the second half of the year of journalists. We invite business writers, reporters, and we host them and talk to them about the industry. We give them statistics about the industry. We use thought leadership. We make them believe that we are the leaders in this industry. So what happens? If there's anything being commented about insurance industry, I'll be called. And you'll always see me, I'm quoted there. So we've created that we are bigger than we really are. Actually, if you look at our brand, is bigger than the business. We have to be tactical because we cannot afford to spend in advertising what other people are doing. So the issue of earned media has gotten us where we are, and I'll give you some numbers. So we decided we're going to be tactical in how we are going to spend money, and we decided to go for sponsorships. So, and around 3 sports: rugby, golf, and squash, because we can't do football. We can't afford to brand Nyayo Stadium even if we wanted to at this particular time in our lives. So we decided we're going to take products that the aspirer, the target market, wants to go into. So the properties we own, we've sponsored Resolution Impala for the last 10 years. We sponsored Resolution Kisi for the last 3 years. And I can tell you, I spent 25 million shillings on rugby. I get 3 billion shillings of earned media. That if I was to advertise, I would have had to spend 3 billion to get the same value. Then we decided golf, again, you have to be tactical. We decided we are going to own season openers. People have been so hungry to play golf. So the minute you decide to go to a club, do it when people are hungry, and then the attendance will be much, much better. And then squash in selected clubs in Nairobi and Mombasa. So I would spend maybe 40 million shillings a year, and I earn 5 billion shillings in earned media. So how do you track earned media? A month ago, we were runners-up of Kenya 7 circuit. That boy, called Kwemoi, was in the front page of the Nation with Resolution Insurance standing there. How much money do you think I would have spent to have the Resolution Health there? Resolution Insurance at that point. I'd have spent 900,000, but I got that for free. You have to be tactical if you want people to see. The other thing is, remember when you run an ad, psychologically, your audience knows you're selling to them. When you see that, you're not selling to you, yet you associate the brand with wellness. That's why we spend money in sponsorship. We won a tournament called Kabeberi Sevens. We were leading news in all radio stations, all TV stations. Our competitors that time were deciding we're going to advertise in between news. People switch channels at that particular point. When you open, this was on the back page of the Standard newspaper. So you see Resolution. That would have cost me 1.2 million shillings, but I got it for free. So those are some of the things that we do to create a brand in an industry that is not active. Then we decided to do, when digital came, I remember getting interviewed. Business Daily had just opened. The CEO who is on Facebook. I was the first insurance CEO on Facebook. And I was there with my daughter at that time who was 16. My daughter is now 24. I identified who the future consumer is. And there are a couple of insurance CEOs in this industry that I have called and told them, your brand is being hammered on social media and you're not there. There's a fear of CEOs being on social media. Guess what? That's your customer right there. And they talk negative things. You know, these days there are some things called Kilimani Mams. Huh? That is where your brand is being discussed. Don't think that your brand is being discussed in clubs, and Nairobi Club and Karen. That is where you're being hammered. You need to understand that. So in the new markets, in the new marketing world, there are people who are called digital influencers. Those people who have a lot of followers. You bring them to a bar, you sit with them, tell them about your business. By the time someone starts talking about your company, they call you and tell you, hey, by the way, there's this story. We've spoken to the person who tweeted it. They've taken it off social media. So we use influencers in the space. And when you see a tweet on social media by Peter Ndwati, it's me tweeting. I don't have someone tweeting in my back office. I respond personally so that I can bring that ethos. So someone is complaining about my company. I'm able to and the first thing I normally do is, if we are wrong, I admit, and I admit publicly. Don't bring them to your office. If they attack you on social media, respond on social media. Because a lot of companies tell them, I'm sorry, give us your number, we'll call you. No, respond to the issue there so that people can feel how you deal with it. Then we decided, all right, there are celebrities in this country who are respected. So we signed a deal with Janet Mbugua 2 years ago called The Journey with Janet Mbugua. When we found out Janet Mbugua was pregnant, we signed her as a brand ambassador. And we told her, we're going to work with you from the time the child is born and until the child goes to high school. So every year, Janet will invite other mothers like herself. So they have 1-year-olds, they sit together and discuss their experiences. And then what we do, we plug that story. So what does a 1-year-old child require? She talks about it, then she blogs about it, and she puts it on all her channels. And she has about 445,000 followers. So that has grown our maternity product over the years. We have other influencers. Then, what is called above the line advertising. So every 2 years, we create a thematic campaign. And that campaign, we decide, this is what we want to talk about. Like right now, we are talking from Resolution Health to Resolution Insurance to change that. The last 2 years, we've had a very successful campaign. We had a campaign called See a Doc When You Want to See a Doc. And we did out of home, we did print, and we did radio, and did very well. Do you have a plan? It's still a campaign that people resonate with Resolution when they see it. We used a gourd as a mascot to communicate the issue of not having a plan. So those are some of the things we did. So this is my last slide. And it's an appeal to you guys to remember, we are no longer a health insurance company. We are a general insurance company, and I'm not Peter Ndwati of Resolution Health. I'm Peter Ndwati of Resolution Insurance. Because every day, that's what we go through. There are brokers who told me, I can trust you with my medical, but my car, and I wonder, what's more important? You need to realize that we've done that. However, members of the industry have embraced us. Us getting to number 8 in the industry in such a short time is not easy. And this year, we're going to close at about 1 billion in general business and about 4 billion in medical. So we're going to turn over about 5 billion. We couldn't have gotten there if we were not tactical in how we positioned ourselves. Because as I said, there were many insurance companies that we found who are positioning themselves as a commodity. So what happens? What does the broker do? The price becomes the differential. We position ourselves that the client is connected with our brand and appeals to you. So when you go to us to present a product, they ask you, where's the resolution? Because we've appealed to the customer directly. So it was deliberate. That's our now target audience. Now it's even tougher because we are no longer that lady in Kileleshwa with a RAV4. Because we are talking to the government. We did a county strategy right now. We are about 1 billion turnover from county business. We are talking to who's the emerging consumer. Equity Bank realized that the power is in the emerging consumer. So we are no longer a mainstream branch. We are rural. We're selling a lot. We've had to set up branches. We have 12 branches in the regions, and those are people we are targeting right now. And I thank you, and I need to catch my flight.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Peter Ndwati of Resolution Insurance. All right. Okay. Asante sana. Safe travels. Wasn't that enlightening? Have we learned something? That branding and visibility is key, and everything is a click away. So the closer you are to your consumer, to your client, then the easier it becomes for you, and you don't have to spend millions. Tumepatiwa hapa siri kidogo, si ndio? Haya, sasa so mjue kampani yenyu inatumia kina nani next kupata very free and easy publicity. Now, I want to give away something. Na feel ni kama tujapatiana vitu afternoon. Are you guys ready to win something before we have our next speaker? Are we ready to do that? All right, fine. So I'm going to invite, can I have my raffle basket and Doreen of Efficax to help me with that? Lynette, do you have it? Do you have a raffle? There you go. Kama hujapeleka a piece of your ticket, of your badge there, then this is the time to do that before we get, I'm looking for 2 winners actually. Lynette, kindly give me those 2 envelopes as well, so that we tell them what they're winning. I'm looking for 2 winners, very, very fast. So itakuwa tu kuchukua na kutoa. I'm going to invite Mr. Tom tafadhali. Nisaidie, uko karibu na mimi. Uko karibu na mimi. Latecomers ndio naona kabisa. So lakini lazima utingishe kabisa, uingize mkono. So I'm looking for 2 winners. And what we are giving away right now is a 3 months free subscription for an SME business from 360 Professional Digital Branding. Ini branding ya bure for 3 months for an SME. And the other one is a 3 months free subscription. This is individual, same from 360 Professional Digital Branding. This will be a creation of a digital profile, social media, and imagine for 3 months for free. For free. So we have a, jameni. Uko sure uko viable ku participate? Sidhani. Okay. Efficax, Doreen, are you in the building? Can we kindly, let's get Doreen. Yeah, and then look at your cards now because I have a number here that I'm about to read. I'm about to read a number here. M 9 5 4. There's no excitement. 1 letter remaining. V. Who? M954V. Kama hayuko tutafuta mwingine. This let's give a round of applause for our winner this afternoon, our very first winner. You get 3 months free subscription for SME business from 360. Mr. Tom, tafadhali mpatie. Congratulations. Tumpigeni makofi. We have 1 more winner. Alafu hii tunatoa kabisa so that hakuna kucheza mara mbili. Are you mixing them well? Sasa kabisa. Haya, sawa. Haya, angalieni basi kadi yenu tuone kuna nyingine hapa. So, M ni common Uska get excited na hiyo ya kwanza. M, another 5. 3. Tereren. 6. And Y. M 5, 3, 6, Y. There's no one? Amenda lunch kabisa kabisa. Oh, are you the one? Okay, I think we do this again. Hopefully, mwenye next ako hapa ndani. Let's. Okay. M, 9, 4, 8. Q. No one. M, 9. M, 9, 4, 8. Q. Next. Hi. Tom, looks like we're going to be doing this for a while. One more. Hopefully huyu yuko. Kama yuko tunaendelea na speaker. Hii ndarudisha hapa kwa nini. So, our next one is M, 9, 9, 8, A. No way. M998A. Do you have someone in that? Dana Wendo. Dana Wendo. Really, Dan? Is that you? Dana Wendo, you are speaker no wangali tag yako. No? Congratulations. Atiriri, the same one. It's a free digital digital marketing and branding subscription for 3 months. Congratulations. So our next presentation is from one of our silver sponsors, and they still insist on successful corporate branding. All the way from Soham. Soham is a petrol station next to my place. Saham Assurance. Give it up for Peter Gitonga, the General Manager, General Business, Saham Assurance. Karibu sana.
Good afternoon. To support us. And that is the reason why we have also continued being sponsoring this event since 2014. And we are going to continue doing it as long as AIBK continues. So we are very grateful. I think now we can move together. I was given a topic, successful corporate brand reinvention. And I'll be communicating to you the lessons from Saham Assurance. I hope you enjoy. It is short. I've also made sure that it is interesting. So please, let's go together. Go to the next slide. I think the last speaker here carried that pointer. He was in a hurry to go to the airport, so I understand.
AIBK has 3 functions. First one is to impart skills to our members by coordinating various activities, various training sessions. Secondly, we lobby for good laws and regulations that impact on our members.
By Saham, again, Saham, a well-known brand, a Pan-African company. They were our parents. And when you become a parent of a daughter or a son, see that daughter will bear a surname from the father. See, yeah. So we had to move from Mercantile to Saham. I say that we had been acquired by Saham, the largest Pan-African insurance group in Africa. And therefore, we had to change the name. And there was a reason to that, because we were talking of a company that acquired us that had a very great turnover, a turnover of about 1.1 billion. 1.1 billion is actually 60% of Kenyan insurance industry put together. That is how big we are as Saham. We are in 28 African countries, a branch network of 700, over 3,000 employees, and we have not less than 44 insurance subsidiaries. That being the case, we had to become Saham so that we could utilize or take advantage, leverage on Saham. What drove us to rebrand? We wanted to create a new and consistent brand across all 26 countries. At one time, Saham as a group used to trade in many African countries using different names. It was therefore necessary that we adopt one name across all the countries. And therefore, even in Kenya, we had to change to Saham. By the way, we operate in all those countries, 26, more than 26, that is in Africa. We are also in the Middle East and part of Europe. There was also need from our global network businesses to identify or rather demonstrate our ability to provide seamless regional solutions and services to those multinationals. It becomes a bit difficult when you are trading in different names and yet part of your clientele are multinational. You would want them to identify with you wherever they are. Hence, the need to rebrand. We had also changed our corporate strategy. And as I said, we wanted to use one brand name across all our territories in Africa. Those are our territories in another graphical representation. Brand familiarity by our multinationals. With Saham, our company, our customers, our clientele are able to identify, as I said, across all the regions that we trade. These are some of our multinational companies. What we did, that is what we did for us to succeed in rebranding. We had to set very clear rebranding objectives. We had to present the image of a more financially stable, experienced, underwriter. There was also, we had to choose, that is choice and screening of a new name. When you are looking for the name, or rather, the name that will represent your brand name, you have to look for one that is easier to pronounce and remember, a brand that is distinctive and available. And for you to do that, you need to do an information search to avoid infringing on other registered names. After that, you do a customer search. And after we did that, we passed the consumer test, and we came up with a very strong company name, that is Saham. It is indeed strong. It's a strong brand. What was our change program? Had to do a very comprehensive program of the brand change, going to all touch points of our customers. And for example, and as I said before, that is when in 2014, we started engaging brokers in similar events like this one. We started enhanced broker relationships. And we also brought in brokers very close to us by even coming up with incentive programs. I think most of you know our incentive programs. You have benefited from them. We've been to several places together. So this is a 360-degree approach, how we approached rebranding. We had to do it through the media, the social media. We had to advertise, very serious campaign in advertising through the radio, through TVs, outdoor advertising, and even reaching to our stakeholders. We had also to do a lot of PR, and of course do it in the glare of the media so that we are captured, like sponsoring charitable events. We have always sponsored Cerebral Palsy Association every year. We had also to do the actual rebranding, branding everywhere. Saham, Saham, Mercantile becomes Saham. And we had also to do the most important, rebrand from within. Rebrand our customer service so that our various stakeholders could see the difference between Mercantile and now Saham. And these are the achievements that we gained after rebranding. Massive broker acceptance and business support. We also grew over 100%. We also became very flexible and had a team, a very good team that is flexible and experienced team now in place to serve our customers. And again, we also changed in terms of customer service. The culture changed from good to great, and also had very improved engagement with all our stakeholders to make the rebranding a success. Again, rebranding has really assisted us. We have moved not only in terms of production, not only in terms of service, but even reaching far and wide in the region and being of success. I want you to know that we are not just in East Africa, we are not just in Kenya. We are also in Rwanda. We are in Congo. We are in Mauritius. And through that band of Saham, harmonize across, we are able to serve your customers wherever they are in those countries without experiencing any hitch. Ladies and gentlemen, my time is over. I'm very grateful. Thank you for listening to me. And thank you once again for supporting us. We do not take that support for granted. May God bless you.
Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I feel like we are now going to almost the end of our conference day one. And I'd like us to just stretch a bit before we give, the stage to our last speaker. Tafadhali. So we can go to Dakamoja. Let's just stretch a bit. There you go. Thank you so much. Yeah, while you're standing, I can see the stretches, but you have to stand up. Yeah, it will be very... No, you're not going to stand up? No, okay, fine. There you go. Amesimama. So, something very, very interesting. We all have one thing in common, right? Tuko hapa kwa sababu ya insurance. So, I'd like you to use one word to describe this industry. One word. What word comes to mind when you think of this industry? Yeah, let me just hand you the microphone. Nasikia unasema kitu hapa. Adi, what comes to mind?
You said risk. Risk.
Risk comes to mind. What comes to mind when you think of insurance industry? Regional. Yeah. Okay. Financial. Let me move away from this table. Quickly, what comes to mind when you think insurance?
Sleeping giant.
Sorry?
It's a sleeping giant.
Hey! Uko kuna watu wamesoma kabisa. And you who refuse to stand up?
Complex.
Complex.
Time for change.
Good.
Challenge.
All right. It's very interesting that we all have, you can all sit down. It's very, very interesting that we all have one word that comes to mind. But what are we doing to make sure that probably if what you're saying is where you want to go, what you want to be, what is it that you're doing to make sure that you get there? That is what we're all about today. And our next speaker is also insisting on branding and visibility and how to make sure that we are getting better at what we do. He's been in the strategic branding field for the past 15 years. He's a chartered marketer, past chair of the Marketing Society of Kenya, and currently sits on the Brand Africa Council and the Brand Council Advisory Board. He's an author as well.
Lastly, we champion customer rights. We take care of all our customer interests, our customers being our members.
I think historically it's because of our leadership. AIBK has had very, very aggressive leaders, and the way leaders are elected annually, there are so many factors that are considered before those leaders are elected. And these leaders have also been working very, very closely with the insurance sector.
My name is Jonah Tomno, Managing Director, Amaco Insurance Company.
My name is Martha Omondi. I'm the branch manager of Voi.
My name is Francis Njenga. I'm the head of marketing.
Welcome to Amaco.
2016 marks our 16th year of operation as a company. We are licensed to do short-term business, or what is generally called general insurance products. Over the period of 16 years as a company, we have experienced tremendous growth, and we have enjoyed great support and loyalty from our customers. And we want to thank our customers that over the 16 years of operation, we have enjoyed tremendous support from our customers in Nairobi and across our branch network. Amaco is proud that over those 16 years, we've been able to extend our branch network, and today we operate in 24 locations. 4 branches in Nairobi and 20 branches across the counties.
We want to work for the people. We want to give them the very best where they are. They don't need to come to Nairobi all the way to get this, or, you know, sometimes you need to talk to somebody one-on-one so that you can explain to them and they understand.
As a matter of fact, we operate and do business in 22 county headquarters. And we want to thank the county governments, the county assemblies, and Kenyans across the counties for the support that they have given this company. It is as a result of the support, the loyalty, and the faith in us that has made this company to register impressive growth over the years.
It's important to note that last year we were voted in Agents' Choice Awards as the best customer champion company.
In 2015, our premium income was 3.5 billion, growing at 32% compared to 2014, where we closed at 2.5 billion. Looking at the industry numbers for 2015, where we grew by 32%, while the industry on average grew by 10%, it tells you that there must be something unique that makes Amaco stand out in terms of growth. And I want to believe that this has everything to do with the customer service that our customers experience when they interact with us.
We champion our customer needs. We are interested to know what they are expecting from the insurance industry.
It's not just about the small print that we have, most people have in their policy documents. For us, it is taking care of you, taking care of your assets, working with you, and giving you our best service ever.
Welcome
to
Amaco,
Africa Merchant Assurance Company.
Giving you service
beyond the obvious. My name is John Atomno, Managing Director, Amaco Insurance Company.
My name is Martha Omondi. I'm the branch manager of Voi.
My name is Francis Njenga. I'm the head of marketing.
Welcome to Amaco.
2016 marks our 16th year of operation as a company. We are licensed to do short-term business, or what is generally called general insurance products. Over the period of 16 years as a company, we have experienced tremendous growth, and we have enjoyed great support and loyalty from our customers. And we want to thank our customers that over the 16 years of operation,
campaigns we've run, all of us tend to be victims of sorts of the same kind of waters which we are drowning in. So I'll describe those waters, how I'll do this, I'll describe those waters we are drowning in, so to speak, and I'll describe them, think through, how do you overcome that? But I won't just describe the drowning, I'll also try and throw you a lifesaver. Actually, a few lifesavers. Although we know what happens with lifesavers. When you're thrown a lifesaver, if you don't grab it, you still drown. So it's up to you to grab it or not. So it's up to your choice. Some numbers. I like numbers because it's assumed marketers never talk about numbers. Yet business is actually largely about numbers. I think Dan gave us a different number. So there's one or the other, but they still talk the same language. That's our insurance penetration, isn't it? I think Dan gave us 4. 3. So you see, I'm not that bad. I tried. I added 1. Our insurance penetration is at 4%. That tells us we are leaving out how much? 96%. You can imagine, as much as we're talking of year-on-year profit growth, there's an explosion waiting to happen. And maybe we're not seeing it. And there are reasons why. And the second part of my presentation talks about describing the circumstances we are in, and finally talking about what I think we can do or things we can think about. You'll be able to see maybe how we can move it up. How we can move it up beyond that. I mean, we have South Africa is at what? Almost 15% right now.
we can move it up, and it means a total change in quite a number of things. That is actually not a positive number. There's a lot of research done about industries or professions, and among the top 10 least trusted, insurance always sits there. You know who else is there? Do you know who else is there? Sorry? Tax collectors. The other industries that are there are accountants. Actually, it starts with politicians normally. Politicians, civil servants, accountants, lawyers, car salesmen. Who else? Insurance is in there. And then you have mechanics and fundis in general. Among the top 10, almost every research you dig up, you can Google if you want even now, you'll find those general, and insurance sits in there. Advertising also sits in there among the least trusted. That's the reason why Peter was talking about, he doesn't use advertising much. He uses what is called earned media, where you're able to get that. So sitting among that top 10 is not very good. We also have a bad name in a number of ways. If you're looking at the screen, we also have a bad name. We have a bad name. If you look at the screen, you'll see what our name says. That's what the client feels at the end. Broker also has a connotation of somebody doing a deal somewhere. That doesn't sound very honest. It's not what you do, obviously. Yeah? It also has that connotation. It's unfortunate that's the water we are sort of swimming or actually not swimming, drowning in. There are a number of underwriters here, isn't it? How many underwriters? They are good enough underwriters. I know you are laughing at the brokers. How do you make a good meaning out of those? How do you make a good meaning out of those? The final thing I'll put up, we actually have an untrusting country. It's an untrusting region, even an untrusting continent, and I would also say an untrusting world. That's the world we are in. Especially around this time, we don't trust anything, isn't it? It doesn't matter, I mean, and this is slightly political, it doesn't matter which political affiliation you're on, we just don't trust. And if you remember, insurance is largely about some of the words you are giving or about. Trust is a big part, isn't it? Trust is a huge part of it, because for the next, I have an education policy right up to, I won't say with which company, right up to university for my kids. And I need to trust in 18 years, when hopefully I'm sitting somewhere in shorts at a farm, you'll come through. I need to trust you. But then we are in a trusting country, so what does that say for an industry that lives on trust? So that's the set of water we're drowning in. A lot of it we're not to blame, but then we can do something about it. There's hope. If you ask if there's hope, I'd say there's actually hope in changing a lot of things. There's hope in us not just drowning, but actually swimming within those same waters. Now to do that, and I know the couple of organizations we talked about, their case studies talked about some of the things they did. What I'll talk about is not, I won't talk about the tactics or the strategies. I'll talk about getting to the soul of what a brand is about. Most of our brands, and I think a couple of speakers have talked about it, eventually when I get the document, they're the same. Why are they the same? Because eventually all I have, the brand there is the same brand as you'd have on for many brands, as you'd have on a cow. It's a cow. All you need to know is, whose is it? And that's the kind of brand unfortunately, many of organizations, underwriters, brokers, that's what we have. So eventually you're selling the same thing. But we don't have to sell the same thing. We can sell different things and swim even within those, if you like, choppy waters that may not be very interesting. And I'll give you two quick slides. Mine will be short, because I know I'm last and you need to stay awake. I'll give you, this is your, for many of the insurance companies, that's the reason we are shrinking. This is your customer. Don't worry, the mortgage industry is worse. These are your customers. Now, what I'll take you through is some of the things to think about, because brands are about getting to the human truth. You need to understand that person. And I know Peter touched on what they did. We all need to do a bit of that. And to do that, you need to understand who is this customer. I'll give you the general, and you can be able to pick from that. This is a generation of villagers, not in a bad way. That's probably, they're very, this is a young group. So those are our parents. To the rural area, that's home. They'll never say, I'm going home and go to Lavington, Kileleshwa, or wherever. That's how they think. So how do you sell to that person? What are they thinking? What are their priorities? Their priority is eventually, I'll go home. I always find it bemusing when my dad, who's 70, says I'm going home. And when you think about it, he came to Nairobi when he was 19. So he has lived 51 out of his 70 years in Nairobi. But he's still a villager. Some of us are villagers, you know yourselves. It's not a bad thing. But why I'm putting it up here is for you to think about how do you react as a broker, as an underwriter. One thing, I think you've said it, simple. That's a very different person you're selling to. How do you deal with them? What's important to them? I know this may be alien because we are busy thinking now as an underwriter, how do I put all this? They're brand loyal. As long as you keep delivering, they'll keep coming back. You'll find people who've banked with this. That's the reason why National Bank is still around, KCB is still around. To a good extent. Of course, now they've rebranded and changed quite a number of things. They're brand loyal. So you'll find same old brands continuing. So those, but although I'm saying these are your past customers, remember, and I think the industry is still selling to this past customer. The next slide will take you through your current and future customer. Very different. And that's the reason why maybe we are at the numbers we are. They have a sense of community. I think this is the biggest enemy of insurance. There's a gentleman I kept meeting in town who I know, an acquaintance, I kept meeting in town every so often. I'm asking, every time I meet him, I'm going for a funeral meeting. Every time I'm meeting, I'm going for a funeral meeting. So I was wondering, is everybody around you dying? And he told me, actually, this is my insurance. Because what I'm doing is, I'm going for these meetings so that when my time comes, these guys can come. So that person who believes the community will take care of him or her does not need insurance. Why should I take insurance when my brother is here, my cousin is here? Why should I? That's another good, bad thing. It's almost taboo to say God can't take care of you, so my broker has sorted me out. We're very spiritual. We're also very fatalistic. Remember, I'm talking about this group. We're also fatalistic, meaning whatever will happen, will happen. You can do nothing about it. And yet you're in the business of making sure you can do something about it, isn't it? You're in a business of risk. It's the business of just in case. Sort yourself out in advance. So we're fatalistic to a point where we don't think we can do anything. And the moment you don't think you can do anything, it means let it happen. You've seen it happening. Let it happen. So I don't need that insurance. We're trusting, so we're easier to sell to. I'm about to give you the opposite of this. They're trusting and believe institutions work. The institution, you go there, it will be sorted. It works. We have another generation which I'll take you through. This is a patient generation. You can take them around. Not the way you'd go to 15 offices, go to office this, get this signed, go to that. They'll do it patiently. You'll go around, get your document signed in 5 places. That's the person we are still selling to, isn't it? That's the person you're still selling to. Because much as you may be able to have a pay bill for receiving premium, you don't have a similar system for sorting them out without them bringing the documents. If somebody needs to take, say, a policy loan, you still need to go and carry the policy to the office, isn't it? That's what we do, isn't it? You still have that document, and yet that may not be. They will take it, but we can't use yesterday's tools today and hope to solve tomorrow's problems. Who's the face of tomorrow? They don't look up, huh? They're not seeing your billboards. They're not watching TV. They're not even looking at you. They probably have headphones at the same time. Huh? They can't hear you. Who are these people? Who are your current? Remember, we are 70% youth as a country. So these are your current and future customers. We are still talking to this one. Huh? They're global. Saying I'm Kenyan and all that doesn't matter. Huh? These are people who will fly out anytime. They're global citizens. Huh? Any trend happening anywhere in the world, they'll get it now. They'll get it yesterday. It's not like some of us used to wait for 2 years for Michael Jackson songs to come out, to come to Kenya. They'll get it today. They're global citizens. A global citizen is, in many ways, very informed. He has many careers. So how do you understand that person? You can't box them. Huh? There you'd box this person. So they're complicated. I don't know if you've thought about them. That's what I'd like us to do. How do we think about them? They're selfish. Now, a selfish person knows, I mean, you're sick, you're in hospital. I hope you sorted yourself out. Huh? If you have not sorted yourself out, I don't know where you're coming from. So it's a generation that if you have some teenagers, they will not take care of you when you're older. You need to take care of yourself. Huh? In fact, but you must take care of them. Huh? So what kind of product? How do you approach them? How do you understand them? There's no privacy for them. Huh? So there's a different way of communicating with them. You can get much more. This is a positive. Huh? You can get much more out of them. Huh? Actually, what if you have not seen the trend? The trend is all these are good things for you compared to all these better chances of succeeding, increasing that 4% to 8, 10, 20. Yeah? Because a selfish person needs to take care of themselves. A person with no privacy will give you information. You will learn easy. You know, do research 20 years ago and get information. So you can talk to them, get a lot of information. Go to their social media, their lives are there. In full, probably even more than you want to see. Yeah? And a lot of it is public. So are we using that information? Are we using that power that is being handed over to us? The empowered. That may not be a good thing, eh? But it's also a good thing. But because you know because you know it's there, you can react to it. Because the empowered, you can't hide things. Eh? They'll probably find out. They'll ask you those questions. Eh? They'll go online. Remember, they're global, and wonder why are you offering this? And I've seen something in Kazakhstan. They're global. So we can't put them in a paddock somewhere. They're brand disloyal. Means you have to touch their hearts and souls. That's what I'll go into next. You have to be able to connect with them. If you can't connect with them, they will move. And they'll move continuously. They don't have to stick with you. Meaning, that's not a customer you're calling a month, 2 or 3 days to the expiry of the insurance and tell them now, by the way, it's time to renew. Because in between, because they are disloyal, they're always looking, somebody else has called them, isn't it? Somebody has called them. Somebody has been talking to them continuously. Talking to them, not just talking to them about product, talking to them in their language. The independent, which is called disloyalty. The independent. They'll do what they need to do. So people who are independent are difficult to deal with, but because you know how to deal with them. Finally, they want everything now. You can't say there's a process going on. Checks are not processed. You can't tell them that. I know I hear it all. A check is being processed. What does that mean? When he or she knows, they can go to their phone right now and process a payment to you. And this generation can take a check being processed. They can take a check being processed. This one will not. They want it now. Have we reacted to that? If we don't, they will form their own insurance companies. There's something called mutual insurance. iPads, because an iPad is for consumption of media. They don't need to produce any work. So I'm not, the iPad people are not here. They're all young people. If we can understand them, the better. So what's the way forward? And I want to get to the last bits of my presentation. What you want to do, think through your own brokerage, think through your own underwriting firm. How do you want to be the one who jumps out of that? And I know in many industries that you don't want to be the first. But I tell you, if you're not the first, you'll be in trouble. You'll be left with everybody else, struggling for a 3% to grow, and growing on population growth, which we can rely on in Africa. That's not how you'll grow a business. How do you jump out? It's your choice. How do you jump out of that? I was asked about a crystal ball. So let's try and look at that crystal ball. What's inside? It's not technology. Technology is a tool. It's an enabler. It's not a strategy. It will help. But if you have not thought through some of those human things, then technology will not help you. Because what you'll start doing is sending people good morning messages and annoying them. Because I have your number, it doesn't mean we are connected. Because you're on Facebook and you've liked, it doesn't mean you've liked me. You just want to check what's happening. And so there are a lot of organizations which are not using technology right. That's why I want to focus on technology. I'm going to focus, as I wind up, on some of the human truths you need. No obfuscation. Be simple. Can we be simpler? Can our documents be simpler? They can definitely be simpler. You can give me the summary of what's happening. Tell me what's happening. How can we be that much simpler in our products? Even the name of the product. The product's called Whole of Life Group something. What does that mean? Is there half of life? If I die a bit, will you give me some money? Can we be simpler? I know I've seen a number of organizations already doing it. Tell me what it is you're giving me in simple words. You can do it without being technical. You can do it. Tell me what it is. And how you do that is ask, what's my pain point? And then address it. What are you giving me actually? What are you giving me? They used to be called death policies at some point. What are you actually giving me? It's actually not a life policy. Because ask, what's that person buying? What are they buying? They're not buying a life policy. They're buying something else. If you ask further, what's their aspiration? What's their aspiration? What are they buying? You have an idea?
Financial security. Financial security.
They're buying financial security for their family should they pass. So that's what you're telling them here. Have some financial security for your family. It's not a life policy. And there are many, I can name very many of them, but I want to give free consultancy. Listen. Listen. What is that? What are they really looking for? And this is linked to that. Listen, make it simple. I don't know many of us actually invest in real research. Not market research, which just describes the water you're drowning in and it comes back and sits in a drawer. What I mean by listening is listening to human beings. What are they feeling? What do they want? What are their aspirations? Where is their pain? Do we listen to that, or here's a whole life policy? Pay this much every month until you're broke. You're dealing with human beings. We forget. We forget because our area is quite technical. And this cuts across many technical fields. We forget we're dealing with a human being. One of the things I've heard from one of our CEO clients is, can you think of that client as your, I don't know, 7-year-old daughter? Is that how you treat them? In terms of having that human touch, are we doing that? Or are we just calling to say, give me my premium? Are we understanding where they're coming from? As I try and close, a lot have been talked about awareness. We've talked about training. We've talked about education. I would beg to think those are not the solution. Do them. They're not the solution, though. Because people buy with their hearts and not with their brains and not with their intellect. You can intellectualize the product as far as you can, but eventually if you don't connect with the heart, That's the reason why premiums fall off. It's not even, it's brokenness may be one, but the other one is, I didn't actually buy. They didn't buy, they didn't connect. You didn't touch them, so they're not going to continue. They'll pay a premium 1, 2, and they're off. Heart over mind, because the truth is, what a brand is, there are many definitions, but I think a brand is, it's a bridge you want to use to connect the customer's heart. Are you actually connected to that customer's heart? If you're not, it's unlikely that customer will stay. What will probably happen, remember, they're not the generation that will just stay loyal because they're loyal. They will move. If somebody else connects to their heart, somebody else, they can feel where they're coming from. I can see, actually, you understand me. You can feel me. If they don't, somebody else will move. So our job really is to be that bridge. Think about what nature of a bridge are you being. So are you ready? I leave you with a question. Are you ready to be that bridge for your customers? Find their pain point, find their aspirations, and be that bridge. Because you're not selling products, you're not selling insurance, you're selling something else. Selling something else, and there are many answers to what you're selling. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tom Sitati. Brandly speaking. Brandly speaking, that is very, very, yeah. At your whole life, what? All right, so simple, listen, heart over mind, all of that, very, very interesting. We've come to the end of conferencing day 1. Are you excited? I hope umelan vitu mingi sana, but more exciting things to come. So I know we've been giving away to things, but there's one huge thing that you all should be looking forward to. Leisure Lodge Resort is giving away a night for 2. A holiday like this. So no working, no conference. Weekend mzima jameni. Jameni weekend. Holiday hiyo. Thank you, Carol. A whole weekend. What do you do with that? Hakuna conference. Anthony Mwangi will not be over here telling you only insurance. No. Uko kwa beach tu. Najua watu hawajafika kwa beach. You know. So if you want to be part of that, make sure that little piece of your badge is in that raffle basket. And we have raffle night tonight. We have quiz night tonight at 7 p.m. Bring your A game. Let's find out nani anajua vitu, nani ajui. We'll team up. We'll have a good time and have dinner. Remember to carry your tags for easy identification as you go for dinner as well. And also remember that we'll be giving a certificate of participation. So be sure to attend the conference for the 2 days that we'll be here. Day 1 is over. You've been great sports. Now, Apenda Zaidi, let's go out, refresh a bit, and then go for raffle night and dinner later on. Asanteni sana. As well, thank you so much. So remember the hashtag AIBK conference. If you have a microphone, kindly bring it forward. If there's a microphone where you are, if you have a microphone, Anne, Caro, microphone, bring it, just bring it. Nelly Mwangeli, I see you, my head girl.